Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of Taking Nature Black, Reclamation and Resilience. I'm Lydia Lawrence.
And I'm Jamani Overby, and we're so excited to welcome you to day 2. We're going to get straight to all of the great things that we have and the speakers that we have for today. Um, and I'll hand it back over to Lydia.
Thank you, Jamani. Um, when I think of the word resilience, I really think about um, this month being uh, Women's Month, and then we're just following Black History Month. And so I really think of Black women, for better or for worse, we are resilience. And I think of the words of Maya Angelou's poem, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I rise." And so it makes me so excited to have Dr. Mamie Parker give our welcome remarks because she has been such a fixture in the environmental community, breaking down barriers, being a leader and a pioneer. She is a professional fish and wildlife biologist, a successful coach, and a principal consultant at Ecologics Group. She has had a distinguished career in the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service as Chief of Staff, Regional Director, and Head of Fisheries. Dr. Parker has been a trailblazer in conservation and environmental leadership, and she now focuses on coaching and mentoring the next generation of environmental leaders, helping them achieve their goals and make a positive impact. And I was so pleasantly surprised to find out as I was talking to her that we are also practically neighbors. Um, so without further ado, I am so honored to welcome Dr. Parker to give our opening for day 2 of Taking Nature Black.
Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful introduction and also for all the hard work that you all are doing to make this conference a success and also something that's sustainable as well. Taking Nature Black Conference is one of those that I hear a lot about in my community and throughout the nation, in fact. And so today it is my honor to stand alongside some many brilliant minds and passionate hearts to open today's session. As I stand before you, I think about Al Green. And Al Green and I have a lot in common. He's of course, most people know was an R&B legendary in itself, and he hails from Arkansas like me. And we part our ways because he's a wonderful musician, and I don't have those skill sets. But what I do have in common with him, we share the same. Our mothers had the same name, Cora, and they were both sharecroppers. More importantly, Al Green's song, one of my favorites, is all about let's stay together. And so this morning, as we talk about resilience and how important it is, I want to talk a little bit about how we need to stay together. And most people would assume that when I say let's stay together, I'm talking about as a community, which I know we understand how important that is for us to do. And I'll speak briefly on that, but also staying together in times like these, in these sensitive moments, in these times when so many people need us and we need them. It's important for us to internally stay together and keep it together. And my mother, when we think about resilience, a woman of strength and wisdom, and as we celebrate Women's History Month, we're thinking about all the strong men and women and the wisdom that you have that shaped who you are. Again, music has a lot to do with that. My upbringing, I heard songs in my house throughout the Mississippi Delta as I was growing up. And I also heard songs from activists like Marvin Gaye. And his song, Mercy, Mercy Me, things are not like they used to be. He said, what happened to the blue skies? And then he talked about radiation in our air, fish full of mercury. The things that he's talking about then are things that we are dealing with today. They still resonate, and we still need to have resilience as we move ahead to connect to nature, to look out for environmental justice and the world around us. Today, it's appropriate for us to uplift our federal employees and our federal employees. And I would be remiss if I didn't do so. These are some very resilient people, too. And I've had the privilege of working at U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service prior to leaving the agency with some individuals that were not just faceless bureaucrats. They are our friends, our cousins, our brothers, our children. And we're missing some of them at this conference today, but we hope that they know that we are there for them, to support them along the way and tell them to stay together and also continue to move forward with the passion and the mission that they had to carry on. Good people they are. Resilience is all about working hard to make a difference. It's the strength that we need to move forward. And today you're going to hear some great speakers that are going to inspire you to do that. Their stories, they bind us together, as Al Green would say, staying together. We're going to hear a lot about how we've been carried through centuries of environmental justice, from toxic waste dumping sites in communities to climate change in our current neighborhoods, and how important it is for us to stay together in times like that. Resilience, it keeps me moving. It keeps us all moving forward. But I'll give a shout out to Ty Tribbett, a gospel singer, when he says, we're going to be all right. And I believe that we will be all right. And that's one of the other things when we talk about staying together. We have to have that positive, negative, get rid of that negative self-talk and have this positive talk that will make us know that if we stand together, stand firm in resilience, we cannot be stopped. Kendrick Lamar also said it best too. And you're going to have a chance today, as well as when we meet in person, to know that our power is undeniable, because many people are not like us. And we have to continue to thrive in this environment and do a wonderful job at it. And so as I close, I just want to say, continue to work hard, continue to know that resilience is something that will always keep us going and growing. And the last words that I have are words that I always end in most of my speeches, because they were given to me and passed on to me by my mother when she, on her dying bed 2 weeks before I graduated. And it's not something that's sad about this, it's something that's great, because she gave me the gift of resilience. And many of the other folks throughout my career, including some of you all in the audience, have given me the gift of resilience. And hopefully we know what we're supposed to do is to pass it on, right? Pass it forward. Maya said, we've heard from Lydia earlier, Maya Angelou, she says, when we learn, teach, when we get, give. So give your inspiration, give your insight, and give your wisdom. And we know that our best days are yet to come. That poem, each day I live to be a day to give the best of me. I'm only one, but not alone. Our finest day is yet unknown. As we take Nature Black, as we think about why we're here and what our purpose will be, and how do we lean on each other, stand together internally and externally, let's all remember that still, in spite of what's going on in many of our lives as we're stretching ourselves and growing, that our best days are yet to come. So let's keep going and growing. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and enjoy the conference.
Thank you so much, Dr. Parker. Absolutely beautiful. Encapsulating the history of our music, of our art, and inspiring us to move forward. And our best days, our finest days are still unknown. Thank you so much, and thank you for being a part of Taking Nature Black. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Parker has a history with the Nature Conservancy as well, and we're honored to have him as one of our sponsors, making this space possible, as well as the Trust for Public Land as one of our sponsors, making this space possible. And so now excuse me, I'd like to turn to our labor and land acknowledgement. And we are very fortunate to have with us today uh, Bryce McConaughey, which means bear paws, Morgan. And he is an 11-year-old Afro-Indigenous member of the Piscataway people, one of 3 state-recognized tribes in Maryland. Bryce is a 6th grader at James Madison Middle School in Maryland, and in school, Bryce enjoys math, science, and technological subjects, and is also in the orchestra where he plays cello. Outside of school, Bryce is part of an all-year state lacrosse team. And he also volunteers with his tribe, where he completed a summer with the Men of Honor group, learning skills to become a productive citizen and gentleman. He participates in a dance troupe with his tribe, Kanawha, alongside his mother and cousin. And I just want to say a big thank you to Bryce for being a part of our labor and land acknowledgement, as well as his mom, Tiara, and Hope Kadai, who will join us tomorrow, who connected us with him. And so before Bryce comes on to talk about his labor and land acknowledgement, I have been asked to read the labor and land acknowledgement statement. As visitors of this land, we will now provide a labor and land acknowledgement. A land acknowledgement formally recognizes the historical and continuing connection between Indigenous peoples and the land. Our acknowledgement honors the ancestors of the Indigenous peoples, who were the original stewards of these lands, water, flora, and fauna. Silver Spring Civic Building is located on the unceded ancestral land of the Piscataway people. We recognize that people of many sovereign Indigenous nations have resided in this region. We respectfully acknowledge the rich culture and contributions of all Indigenous communities, past, present, and future. And now I'd like to pass it over to Bryce.
Washita Dala Wense Mokonanjin. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting me here. My name is Bryce Bear Paws Morgan. Thank you for reading the land acknowledgement. I'm Piscataway. It means where the water blends. Our tribe covers DC and Maryland. Why are land acknowledgements important? 1. It gives respect to Indigenous people of a land in the past and today because the land is sacred to us. 2. It acknowledges the truth about colonization and struggles we had in keeping our traditions. 3. It prevents us from being erased from history and gives people like me a voice. So thank you for the respect on my behalf. On behalf of my people, I extend a warm welcome to you all. Me and my mom looked at your conference webpage when I was invited to speak. I saw a line that made us really happy. Nature needs all of us, and we all need nature. I agree changing the name of your organization from the Audubon Society to Nature Forward was a good thing to do. Be inclusive of everyone. Your new name makes safe spaces for people like me and people in my generation to feel comfortable finding our way. Community, nature, and future are all things that I stand behind. These are amazing programs that you have put together. I am impressed and thankful for everything that you are doing to honor our home and yourselves. Your mission to appreciate, understand, and protect our natural environment is everything that I'm about. So what I'd like to talk about today is how you can use the advice that's been given to me to continue your mission. Who am I? If I had to describe myself, I would say that I'm me, an Afro-Indigenous boy who respects every space he is in. I am part of Mother Earth and she is part of me. I have the duty to take care of her. She provides everything that's needed to take care of all of us. I know that I have to figure out where I fit in and then do my part. That's what brings me value. What is important to me? Well, I'm still figuring that out. I have a lot of things that I like to do. My parents always tell me to do things that honor myself, my body, my home, and my people. So that is my first piece of advice to you all. And if you do those things, you create a greater community with everyone else. It is important that I take care of my body the best way I can. This means I have to stay active and find activities that I enjoy to keep me happy. One of my many favorite activities is lacrosse. I've been playing since I was 6 years old. Playing lacrosse allows me to get advice from my elders, use my body in good ways, and honor my ancestors. Continue to find good ways to honor yourselves too. Fun fact, did you know lacrosse comes from the indigenous game stickball? We call it the creator's game. A lot of my school friends do not spend time outside, but I think it is important. People were meant to be outside. The sun provides nutrients that you need. The fresh air makes you feel better. Being around living things reminds you that you are a part of Mother Earth. I spend a lot of time outside. I hike, bike, skateboard, swim, rollerblade, hoverboard, paddleboard, kayak, and climb trees. I've been fishing since I was really little. My parents think it is important that I know how to get my own food. Continue to get outside and explore. My mom is an environmental scientist and she tries to make sure that being outside will be safe for everyone for years and years and years to come. My elders teach things that you may have all heard before. Everything that you have comes from Mother Earth, and one day you will also be a part of it. Respect living things and the environment because they are all your relatives. Don't take too much, only take what you need, and never take the last or first of something in the wild. Share what you've taken from Mother Earth with others. In school, we are taught these alternative ways of living, but my family teaches that's just how we are all supposed to live. There's no alternative way. We are doing a small part at home. My mom grows many fruits and vegetables at home, and I help take care of it. We compost food scraps in the backyard and use our bunny poop to make super fertilizer. It's better than cow and horse poop. Continue to respect the environment and find ways to use indigenous teachings in your life. It is important to create safe spaces for others in our communities. We are all in this together. My family likes to invite others to participate in activities that take care of health, each other, and the planet. I like that they always invite other kids to try the many things that we do because those kids will grow up with the same respect for themselves and Mother Earth. Please continue to create these spaces and inspire others, especially the kids. Blessing to you all. I hope you have an amazing conference. Wanishi. You can follow me and my family's adventures on TikTok.
Thank you so much, Bryce, for what an amazing presentation sharing about yourself and your family's ways. And thank you, Tiara, as well, Bryce's mom, for helping us to have Bryce do our acknowledgement. So I'm going to close our opening by having us have a poem from one of our Anacostia students. We heard about Voices of the Anacostia River yesterday in our panel about how youth were able to connect with nature and do a lot of writing that came from it. And their book, Young Voices of the Anacostia River, is actually launching today. So we're extra fortunate to be able to have Keon Hopkins join us today to share a poem to open our second day of Taking Nature Black. Keon, welcome.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I have learned a lot from this past summertime, under the guidance of Mr. Brown. He's a well guided young man. You know what I'm saying? I respect him fully. He has told me a lot this summer, and one of my favorite poems I wrote was about John Francis. If y'all might know him by The Wanderer. Um, he gave us a video. He was on a video call, Zoom call with him. He basically told us his whole life and how he walked the earth, and I wrote a poem about it. Um, when a massive oil spill hit the San Francisco Bay, John Francis' old life evaporated, dried up, went away, and a new one began, just for him to walk the land. The way John Francis walked the earth, the music of the environment he felt and heard, this type of music was a born or bland, kept walking. John was only forceful command. He walked, and for 20 years didn't talk. When to find a new way of living, he sought with any other protest you see signs, lines, with this one solo. In the woods, a different kind. He was courageous when a white man threatened to end his life. He said he saw death but refused to take the flight. He didn't want anyone to scare him out of doing what he wanted to do. Live life today, what you believe was his favorite truth. A heart so kind, a spirit so bright, his walking and not talking brought the day darkest nights. When nature called out, he listened and received a new birth. His walking in silence taught us how to better to love the earth. That's it.
That is beautiful. Living your truth. I think that's incredibly inspirational. And thank you, Keon, for sharing your poem. And so I am going to close out this session so that we can hustle over to our next item on the agenda, our keynote with Dr. Jailana Sheets. So everyone, thank you for being a part of this, and let's head to our keynote.